Hello and good morning. Today is the 15th of November 2023 and I'm going to go over my trading plan for today. Hopefully today I'll be a little bit more organised. I've got my pre-written notes already, and so I've got my levels I'm watching for, scenarios, and I'm just going to go review that right now. So we just had PPI, and let's have a quick look at the economic calendar for today. High importance, we have PPI and retail sales, and they're both actual and actual. Not sure about retail sales, but that looks a bit worse. It may explain the big red candle we've just seen. And today we've got quite a bit of news. Fed speaking, we've got 10 o'clock, 9:30 on the open, so just be a bit wary. We've got quite a lot of news at 10:30 and then 3:30, so be aware, big news day today. Okay, let's crack on. MES, this is the MES chart or the ES chart for the S&P index futures, and I'm looking at the 1 hour time frame. What we can see is we had this PPI candle come in 8:30 today, and not quite as the reaction as we had from this candle, but it's a smaller candle, but it's given us a few levels. So one of the areas I'm watching for is the break and retest of the pre-market high, and potentially the break and retest of the pre-market low. These are the areas I'm watching. I've not marked the lows off, but I'll keep an eye on them. If we see a big push up today, let's just zoom out a bit. We've got a few areas to watch for, and the one area I'll keep an eye on is this pivot at 45.60, and this was the top end of this head and shoulders pattern we saw, and last time it was up at that area we had a big reaction, and I know I said that yesterday for that level and we didn't have any reaction at all. But we are very, very extended now. If we look at the daily, look at that daily, so we've put in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 green candles, one real down day, and then one smaller red day, where we just went a narrow range day. If we were to have a target in place, we would be looking at 45.60 for a potential reject. So let's just put that there. So we've got a daily area, and we've got the rejection or this level coming off of this downward daily trend line, which is which would be around 4,600, nice round number. So I'm going to play the chart today, not the emotions. Yesterday I was biased, I was short biased because we came into this trend line, which is no longer on my chart, and all I wanted to do is just short it there, and then I wanted to short it at 4,500, and I was a bit biased, and I only had my eyes on the short down play to here, but I'm going to play what I see today. So if we do get down to this area, then I'll be watching for a long as well. So I'm kind of waiting for a pullback. So today's going to be about the pullbacks really, and continuation of the trend. Volume wise, it's been a bit lower volume than we saw when we got to the bottom here. Volume's reducing as well, so maybe there was a pullback on the cards. Will we get to there? Will we get to there? Who knows? So let's take it back to the hourly and reassess. So I've got a couple of higher risk plays, and I'm looking at this area, kind of the area I had yesterday for a particular bounce, and that's 45.0725, and that's the area I was looking for rejection yesterday. So that coincides with, going back a long time now, this right hand shoulder. So we've got this entire area. It's an area of confidence, that's why I quite like it. And I know we shot through it, but we did, if you look, we didn't shoot right through it, we came up, and remember these areas are areas, they're not lines, so we hovered around the area and then we continued pushing up. So if we come back down to this area, I'll be looking for a higher risk bounce. So when I say high risk, I'll take probably half or a quarter of my normal size and look for an add. If we continue breaking down, I'll have a tight stop. I'll be waiting for confirmation as well. One of my problems with my trading yesterday, I didn't have any confirmation. I was getting in at these levels and I wasn't waiting for the confirmation, so the confirmation would be in the break below that area. I was trying to get in early and anticipate the move, and it obviously didn't work very well yesterday. So having a red day is actually quite helpful. It refocuses you, which nobody likes a red day, but I'm a bit more refocused today. So I'm watching the bottom of this candle for potential break and test low. Watching this area for potential bounce, again both for confirmation. So this break and retest low 45.20, let's just mark that up, is a higher risk bounce because we're getting close to that now. And we had the pre-market high, that was my previous level before the PPI, but we should, well, does that coincide with anything back here? If I were to put it on the high, yeah, I'm moving it. So with that PPI candle, that coincides with the tops. I'll just draw it. I'd like to zoom in a bit more, but we've got the tops of candles here, here, these tops here, these tops here, and it happens to be where we PPI came into today. So that's kind of the area I'm watching for, a break and retest of that area. Oh, let's just zoom back in. 45, 42 is the area I'm waiting for, a potential rejection or break and retest. So the rejection would be higher risk because it's against the trend, and the break and retest will be higher risk because it'll be with the trend, and we're slowly grinding our way up. I think that's it really. If we do push up, then I've got a rejection at 54.60, 54.60, sorry, 45.64 area, and that particular area I'll be looking to layer in for the rejection, but down, that's a daily rejection as well. So these yellow dotted lines, ignore the thickness, it should be a bit thinner than that. These are my hourly rejection areas or bounce areas, and the thicker ones are my daily, and you can see obviously hourly and daily are quite close to each other. So just to recap again, I'll just go through my notes. I've got 45.60 reject, 45.60 reject, that area there. That's an area of confluence as well, so if you zoom out you see an area of confluence. We've got a 44.30 to 4400 bounce, that'd be this area here. I'm looking for a break and retest of the pre-market high. That's a higher probability play based on the trend, and obviously a rejection up there would be a higher risk play, which is against the trend. And then a 45.07 bounce, which is yesterday's reject, what we just talked about, 45.07, this area here. So they're the areas I'm watching for, and obviously we've got the pre-market lows as well to watch for. I generally don't take pre-market break and retest of pre-market lows. I normally only focus on the break and retest of the pre-market highs, but I'll keep an eye on it. So that's it, that's my entire plan for today. Also, something to note, the SPX is right at 4500 level right now. It will probably open in this area. So we held that area yesterday, and if we're seeing a bit of a negative down day today, if we're below 4500, maybe we can look for some rejections rather than longs. And don't forget, we've got this big gap to fill, so if we do get down, we've got this void and we could potentially be looking to fill that gap. So as you know, gaps will eventually be filled. One thing I just wanted to go into, something I've been adding to the, I've been looking at the data candles. So these candles coming in at 8:30, I'll show you yesterday's one. In fact, I don't have it on there, I'll put it back on. I'm putting anchored VWAPs in, and to see whether that makes a big difference. And look at this, interesting to see that we stayed above this anchored VWAP all day, came back down. This would have been the trade to take. Double bottom tails, break of that area, increased volume as well, a bounce off the anchored VWAP, and look at that for a great push up. Me, I was trying to go short along here yesterday, but excuse me, I need to make better use of the anchored VWAP because you can see how well it works. So let's go to today's candle. And obviously one thing to look at as well, I also put in, this is a 5-minute candle, I'm also putting in the fibs line. So we've got the 100%, 50% and the 0%. So I just want to see whether the market pulls back and tests these areas. I've seen it before and I want to see how influential these areas are, the tops and bottoms. And you can see here, we came up, we retested the top of that candle, came back down, broke through, retested it and pushed up. So potentially the break and retest of the pre-market high I missed yesterday as well. And so I won't dwell over yesterday, let's look at today. So you can see the anchor VWAP's in this one now. We got the top of that candle there, bottom of the candle and the 50% area. So again, I'll keep an eye on that. This is the pre-market high. Is it a coincidence it's happened to be at the 50% area? Who knows, only the algos know that. But we are trailing this anchored VWAP down. You can see it came in, touched it and rejected it. Also a few other areas as well, the 20, the 50 as well, and also the anchored VWAP. So I'm keeping an eye on this as well. Looking pretty bearish right now. So it's come right up into this pre-market low and area of confidence as well, bottoms of candles, tops of candles. But I'm going to let the market play out for at least 5-10 minutes before I get straight in, because I don't want to be chopped around like I was yesterday. Okay, let's look at the other levels. We've got, this is SPY, similar to ES. Pre-market high, break and retest long, or high risk rejection. Lows, yesterday's close. What was yesterday's close? Would be around about there. We could keep an eye on yesterday's close as an area of confluence. Look at that. And if I zoom in, it's right in our demand. In our was a supply, but now it's a demand zone. So close. Where did we close? There. No. There, and we're coming right up to yesterday's close as well. So potential bounce on this demand zone. Let's change that now. Hourly demand. So you see, it went through all of this yesterday. But I'll reassess these zones, see whether they're still valid, but probably not now. Where were we? So high risk bounce at 449.50, high risk rejection at 451.50, and a high probability break and retest of those levels as well. And if we get back down to 447, 448 area, we could watch for a potential bounce, and it might be off that 20 as well. So that's all I'm watching for on SPY. Very simple. Qs. We've broken that previous pivot yesterday. So what's our next pivot? Let's go on the daily for this. Oh wow, look, we're not far off all-time highs. 388, $20 away, that's amazing. So we're not far from all-time highs on Qs. We got that next pivot to watch for. So let's come back in. Well, we were right at that pivot, so we could see a potential rejection where we are right now. Again, we talked about how extended it is. It's quite far away from the 200, the 20, the 50. So we are due a bit of a pullback. Will today be that pullback? We'll find out. And we are big gap up yesterday, and we're right at the top end with a little bit of a gap today. Let's go back into hourly. So if we were to pull back, I'd quite like the bounce around this area of 377, 378, 30, 378 area. Or a potential area will be this area of confluence. Why does TradingView do that now? I used to click on the chart, hit the horizontal button, and it will put it in the place I click on. So 393.07. Oh, I did it then. Maybe. Okay. Ignore that, that's not a level, I was just testing it out. So we've got this area of confluence at 375 area for potential bounce as well. So same as before, break and retest of the high, break of the low for for the pullback down to this area, and that's your potential target 380. Nasdaq hasn't quite broken that pivot yet, so that's our rejection area there. But we're not far off all-time highs as well. Pretty strong. Let's go into the hourly. So same as before, if we break the high, we look to go long, or really want to try and catch a pullback. So pull back into this strength and potentially just try and find a decent place. We've got an area of confluence here at 15,720, and we also could be watching this area as well. And I'm looking at tops of candles here, so 15,800, that area again. We've seen that area a few times. So if we get a pullback, this is a higher probability bounce, and it'd be the 20 moving average nearby as well at 15,890, or down at these levels here, 15,700 area. Maybe watch for this 50 moving average as well. A good area might be actually where this area of confluence, where this VPOC is, the volume point of control. This area here could be acting as natural support, and we've got the rise in 200 moving average. So if we can come all the way down to this area, we might be looking for a possible bounce of that area. And that's it really for there. Quite simple. There's not, I'll be honest with you, there's not really any decent levels today. Look at this head and shoulders pattern, one of my favourite patterns. Neckline is probably there. A level we've already had, $78 or $77.98. Wasn't watching it today, but let's just take a look at that pullback. Was that on reducing volume? Low volume. But we have had reduced. Let's look at the daily. Let's see the oil. This is oil, by the way, MCL. Oh yeah, we spoke about this yesterday. Do you remember yesterday I said we got this reducing volume on a pullback, and it's looked like it wants to just pull back. It's doing exactly what I said it's doing. So the entry would have been that place we talked about, 77.98, and target will be if it gets back downhill or further on. So potentially, I quite like this as a swing trade, but I'll be chasing the price now. I should have had my order in place for USO or something like that. If we do pull back to that area, 77.98, maybe we can watch for a break, but that's gone. Shame. But look at that volume analysis to a T. That was, we talked about that. We said yesterday, we were up here yesterday, I think we were in the open. We're definitely in the top end of this, and I said we're looking for a potential short. Okay, move on to any levels then. You could watch for a bounce off of 73.83, and then we've got the big bounce area down here at 68, so that's what we're watching for. So good news if you have a petrol car, oil's coming down, and that will make it quite cheap down there. That's a potential target area. If you're swing trading it, if you caught that trade, well done. If you were swing trading it, I would say area of confluence here, which is at 74. Maybe that's the target. Maybe take a bit off at the low, take next off at 74, and aim for this area. Last but not least, gold. And how's that looking? On the daily again. Volume's reducing, but it's been reducing as we're coming down, so maybe this is a pullback. We've just about broken that big bearish candle. We're above all the moving averages. Do you know what? It doesn't look quite like, it looks like it might be a nice long play. Let's just see if we can find a daily entry. the safe entry will be over 2014. See this little head and shoulders pattern, and we're right back up into the neckline. Potentially this could be the break and retest of this head and shoulders pattern, but we are seeing reducing volume on this entire pullback, but then there's been no follow through volume on these green candles, so potentially this might be the break and retest of this area for a move down. I'll keep an eye on this. I quite like, if we do break this level, I might be looking to go long as a swing, and there's no other real levels. If it's the first leg of this, we got the first pullback, the second pullback, maybe there's a third pullback target. Yeah, I don't play gold enough to know how it trades, but because it's above all the moving averages, I don't really want to go short. I think if it breaks below 1925, there's a short area there. Maybe come back down, retest and push down, or just the breakdown with a target, probably that gap fill. I think that's it really. There's no more. If we see a big push up, we can watch that area for a rejection, but it's looking pretty bullish if it does. But we can use these levels as guides, and it's uncanny how, here we go, this level's been in place for some time now, and we came up yesterday, got close to it, tested it there, and we tested it again today. We literally tested it in the post market, this candle here. Started down, they come all the way up, come all the way back down. So maybe that's the entry there for the head and shoulders break and retest. Okay, 8 minutes to go before the market opens. Let's just recap today's levels again. I'll be very brief. We're watching for a rejection at 45.60 to 45.64 area. We want to continue the trend, and so we're looking for a pullback. Potentially 45.07 is a pullback area for it to go long. It's holding this pre-market low area of confidence right now, so 45.20 could be another area. That's very high risk, and that's where we are right now for a long or a break and retest short. Pre-market high risk rejection, or a high probability break and retest. And if we do get down to this area, I'll be definitely looking to be going long at 44.30 area, this entire area. So if we get down there, I'll look at these and play this trade as we get there. I'm looking for confirmation. I want to see a nice bounce off of these areas, push back up. But we're very, very extended on the daily, and put in a daily top and tail right now. I know it's only just start of the day, so we want to see how today plays out. Okay, have a good day, and trade safe. Thanks for watching.